that's cool, but be gay and come on out and be that. Don't be in front of us and act like a straight up G, and then you get over here and you let these boy bust up your back. Cause you know, it gonna come.
You know, I ain't gonna say who it is, but it's a real famous rapper and it's a real famous R&B chick.
Okay.
Yeah. Pimp had he had a recording of them. I think
This might be the most intense story I've ever had to unpack on this channel. We're talking secret tapes, alleged blackmail, ritual theories, and a bizarre connection between some of the biggest names in the music industry, Jay-Z, Beyoncé, a legendary rapper from UGK, and Diddy. And no, this isn't some internet conspiracy fantasy. We're talking real people, real claims, and some who allegedly paid the ultimate price for knowing too much. It all begins with a mysterious video that allegedly shows Jay-Z, Beyoncé, Diddy, and another high-profile artist in a compromising situation one many say was never meant to see the light of day. Some even believe this very video triggered a deadly chain of events. The most chilling claim: that this is connected to the sudden and suspicious death of Pimp C. Before we dive into what Master P allegedly did over this situation, or the claims that Jay-Z's team keeps sensitive footage as leverage, you need to understand how deep these industry secrets may run. In certain circles, people say the entertainment world doesn't just cancel its problems, it erases them. So let's talk about Pimp C, one half of the iconic duo UGK. He wasn't afraid to speak out. He publicly questioned the industry's practices and wasn't shy about calling out the elite. And then, he was found dead in a hotel room, face down, on Jay-Z's birthday. You think that's a coincidence? Let's look at what's officially on record. On December 4, 2007, Pimp C was discovered at the Mondrian Hotel in Los Angeles. Police said it was an accidental overdose combined with a sleep condition. Case closed, at least. That's what they wanted you to believe, but according to his manager, Rick Martin, who saw the body in person, the scene didn't look like a peaceful passing. He claimed Pimp C was found on his knees, as if praying, and that there were signs of something far more disturbing. Martin even suspected a possible gunshot wound. Even stranger, the candles Pimp C always lit before sleeping had completely burned out, suggesting he had been dead for hours before anyone found him. Records say the hotel staff found him at 8:30 a.m., but they didn't call 911 until 9:20. Why the delay? And what happened in that unexplained 50-minute window? Here's where it gets more confusing. The initial coroner's report claimed it was an overdose, but the toxicology results were inconclusive. There were no drugs in his system at levels high enough to be lethal, and no visible trauma that would explain his death. And yet, DJ Paul from 3-6 Mafia claimed he saw blood around the body. How does that line up with an overdose in your sleep? These are the questions that keep coming up, questions many people are too afraid to ask. But one thing's for sure, this wasn't just another tragic death. Whether it was coincidence, conspiracy, or cover-up, Pimp C's story still doesn't add up.
Pimp C was at my house, down the street from you, the day before he died. I go to Pimp's hotel, but something happened. And I'm like, what happened? He's like, they wouldn't tell me on the phone. They said they'd tell me in person, see security when I get there. And he went in there and saw Pimp C's body. Pimp C was still in there. He said Pimp C was like, he was laying down like he was praying. And but it was blood all over the bed, like he threw it up, but they thought he had been shot in the head. They didn't know what the hell happened because there was blood all over the bed, but he was kneeled down like he had been praying. And the candles had been burnt all the way down. So they knew he had probably been dead for like a day or something, because he always lit these candles to help him sleep, because I think he had sleep apnea. So he always lit these big tall candles, and with that candle to be burnt all the way down, they were like, he must have been dead.
People close to Pimp C insist his death was no accident. His cousin, Edgar, also known as Edgar on the Boat, shared a key detail. A man named Larry Adams, who reportedly wanted a stake in UGK, may have played a role when Pimp C refused. According to Edgar, Larry put something in Pimp's drink that night. Pimp C started throwing up blood shortly after. Oddly, Edgar, who was usually by his side, wasn't on that trip. He says Pimp's wife, Shannara, told people he was unavailable and went instead. She later left Pimp alone in the hotel. He died not long after. What made the rumors spiral? People claim Shannara and Larry got married after Pimp C's passing, though records don't confirm it. Then, years later, Larry died reportedly from poisoning. Some say it was all coincidence. Others believe it was a setup. One thing's clear, Pimp C wasn't just a rapper. He called out industry secrets, powerful figures, and never backed down, and that made him dangerous to the wrong people.
Talking about, and I had to put that out there, bun, cause a lot of niggas doing a lot of fugazi shit out here, man. You know what I'm saying? These niggas that flip-floppy, they pitching and they catching with these boys, and they doing all this. So, and if you gay, that's cool, but be gay and come on out and be that.
He dropped Knocking Doors Down to call out the division among Houston artists, urging them to unite. Pimp C stood for unity and wasn't afraid to expose the hidden agendas in the industry.
The labels are inclined to keep us as dumb as possible. They know that if we get to communicating and putting our heads together and comparing notes, that we're gonna figure out some real fast. They also know that if we get on the same page, it's a chance that we could unionize. They really don't want that. They don't want rappers united. They don't want artists united. They want division, because divided they can conquer.
But here's the thing, there was one rumored piece of footage that may have put a target on his back. It allegedly showed Pimp C alongside some of the biggest names in the industry, including Jay-Z, Beyoncé, and Diddy. The tape was said to be so sensitive that when Master P found out Pimp C had it, things got physical. Some even claim that moment marked the beginning of serious trouble for him.
He could have made millions of dollars. And some of the people that's higher up in rap, if they would have seen that tape, you know what I'm saying? You think that Kim Kardashian something?
Yeah, this would have blew it out the water.
Man, I'm gonna use your imagination. The biggest R&B chick in the game.
I already know who it is.
And one of the biggest rappers, you know what I'm saying, that made the most money in the game.
And they wasn't supposed to be together. Or they were together and nobody knew it.
They still together now.
Are they still together now?
Wow.
Jaguar Wright, an artist who once worked closely with The Roots and Jay-Z, later confirmed in an interview that Pimp C allegedly had footage involving Beyoncé. She suggested that this may have played a role in why he was targeted, fueling ongoing speculation about his untimely death.
With Pimp C and Beyonce was real.
Of course it was real. All her tapes is real.
How many tapes she got?
You gotta have at least 40 of them. They buy them out all the time. That's why everybody gotta get the non-disclosure. The nigga don't ask.
Don't ask, because Jaguar Wright already said it. The same artist who once worked with The Roots and Jay-Z publicly claimed that Pimp C had a controversial tape involving Beyoncé, and that it may have been tied to his untimely death. She also accused the industry of maintaining a hidden network of footage used not for entertainment, but for leverage. These so-called gatherings weren't just social events, they were about power, control, and insurance. Now, let's talk about Queen Bee. At the time her relationship with Jay-Z began making headlines, she was reportedly 19, while he was nearly twice her age. Many have questioned how fast her career rose, how tightly her image is managed, and how many rumors exist about footage and secrets behind closed doors. One theory: that Pimp C had something on tape, possibly involving Beyoncé, Jay-Z, and others in a compromising situation. Some speculate that's what made his presence a threat, not just for exposing hidden truths, but for potentially derailing major careers. There's also a belief that Jay-Z may have had ties to people involved in silencing Pimp C. Others point to Diddy, who has long been surrounded by rumors about private footage and could not afford more exposure. When Pimp C was found, he was reportedly in a praying position, leading some to believe he passed peacefully. But others who saw the scene said it told a very different story. Now here's a little-known fact. One of Pimp C's most iconic appearances was on Jay-Z's Big Pimpin', but he almost didn't do it. According to Rockefeller A&R executive Kiambo Hip Hop Joshua, Pimp C misunderstood some lyrics and didn't like the energy, especially knowing Jay-Z and Tupac had history, and Pimp C was a huge Pac supporter. In fact, the label wanted the feature so badly that when UGK asked for $100,000, they offered Pimp C $1 million check instead. And what did Pimp say, according to music exec Greg Taylor? Take that check and give it to Tupac's memoir, he's stealing all my stuff anyway.
I was like, yeah. He was like, man, tell him to take that check and go give it to Tupac mama, man. He's gonna be stealing all my shit. I was like, what? So I hated that. I called him on speakerphone. So I jumped up to click it, and there was another guy standing at the dang that was getting another $2 million check.
Jay-Z heard the conversation on speakerphone and wasn't either. Story of Pimp C is more than just hip-hop history. It's a cautionary tale about power, silence, and the cost of truth. After dropping Knocking Doors Down, a track pushing unity and exposing hidden industry agendas, Pimp C made it clear he wasn't afraid to speak out. He called out fake alliances, urged Houston artists to stop beefing, and started pulling back the curtain on a world few dared to discuss. But here's where things get intense. Rumors spread that Pimp C possessed a highly sensitive tape allegedly involving Jay-Z, Beyoncé, Diddy, and himself. Not your typical gossip. According to whispers in the industry, this footage had